The 2017 Audi S5 Cabriolet. The Audi S5 first appeared on the scene in 2007, initially dropping cover as a coupe alongside its more pedestrian sibling, the A5. 2 years later, at the 2009 Frankfurt Motor Show, Audi introduced the S5 Sportback, a 5-door model promising greater practicality in a still-sporty package, plus the open-air S5 Cabriolet, both of which went on sale for the 2010 model year. A mid-cycle refresh arrived in 2013, including new technology, styling, and powertrain updates. Now, it's time for a new generation to take the reins, and as such, Audi has unveiled the 2017 S5 Cabriolet, rounding out the new A5 lineup with a sportier soft-top iteration of the compact luxury 2-door. The next gen brings with it slightly larger dimensions, tweaked styling, a sleek interior packed with gadgets, a more powerful turbo 6-cylinder, an updated rear suspension, and new systems for safety and convenience. Being the best in this segment takes style and attitude, mixing the fun of unlimited headroom with a decent punch when you press on the loud pedal. Keeping up with the technological Joneses is also critical, with competition from Europe and Japan vying to impress in the cabin as well. Does the new S5 have what it takes to compete? Continue reading to learn more about the 2017 Audi S5 Cabriolet. Exterior. We last got a glimpse of the 2017 Audi S5 this past April, when our spy photographers caught a test mule making the rounds at the Nürburgring. As expected, the look doesn't change all that much for 2017, with the 4 rings carrying over the majority of design cues originally penned by Walter Maria da Silva for the first S5 Cab. That said, there are a few notable differences between the previous and new generation. The S5 Cabriolet utilizes a surplus of horizontal lines in the design, giving it a lower, wider presence on the road. Dimensionally, the new S5 is substantially larger than before. Let's start in front. That characteristic 3-dimensional single-frame grille was reshaped for 2017, and now gains a shorter, wider appearance than before. The old 7-slat insert is gone, replaced by 6 flat slats stretched horizontally across the nose. The headlights were also reshaped, gaining a slimmer, narrower appearance without the lower embellishments of the previous generation. The housings are still outlined with daytime running lights, but the highlights are relegated to the top of the light. The headlights use xenon elements as standard, but LEDs and matrix LEDs with dynamic turn signals, front and rear, are an available option. The lower bumper was reshaped as well, with a lower character line that stretches into the side intakes, neatly framing the corner fog lights with broader silver trim. Up top, we find heavy creases that give the front end a power dome appearance. In the flanks, we see a shoulder line that stretches into the rear end with a wave-like appearance. Studding the fenders is new badging. Below is a raked crease that lends the car a forward-leaning look. The fenders are flared slightly, a feature Audi says acknowledges to cars' standard Quattro AWD system. The rear window is also slightly flatter, while the overhangs remain short, especially in front. In back, the taillights were reshaped as well, once again with a flatter, longer appearance. There are dual oval exhaust tips in both corners with a polished finish, a brushed metal frame, and a prominent diffuser insert. On the trunk is a small lid spoiler. The third brake light is integrated with the trim of the rear soft top cover, while the taillights are outfitted with LEDs. The S5 Cabriolet utilizes a surplus of horizontal lines in the design, giving it a lower, wider presence on the road. Dimensionally, the new S5 is substantially larger than before, gaining an extra 1.9 inches in the overall length, up to 4,673 mm, or 184 inches, while the wheelbase was extended by 14 mm (0.6 inches) to 2,765 mm (108.9 inches). The track is now 1,587 mm (62.5 inches) wide in front, and 1,568 mm (61.7 inches) wide in the rear. Interestingly, the model is actually narrower overall this time around. The competition. Note, BMW 4 Series convertible pictured on the left, Mercedes-Benz C-Class Cabriolet AMG C43 pictured on the right. Without a doubt, the S5's biggest competition will come from the other two big German makes, BMW and Mercedes. Let's start with the Bimmer, which was just updated for the 2018 model year with new exterior styling. However, the coupe and Grand Coupe iterations received more updates than the convertible, particularly in front, where the drop top carries over the outgoing model's dog-bone-shaped central intake. However, there are new details, such as the restyled headlights that get new hexagonal graphics, if you look for them. There are also new LED fog lights in the lower front bumper corners as standard, upgraded LED taillights, a first for the 4 Series, and new wheel designs. You'll also notice a short front overhang, straight, muscular character lines, chrome details, and a broad, flat rear end. As for the Merc, the C-Class is where you wanna look for the 3-pointed star substitute. Up front is a shapely bumper design, complete with plenty of curves and shiny metal. The folding soft top falls away to reveal a body that looks equally good without a roof, with lots of visual rake added by the profile character lines. In back, the tail is rounded, terminating in a flick of a trunk spoiler. LEDs come as standard for the daytime running lights, while LED headlights, LED taillights, and adaptive headlights are all available options. More aggression can be had with the optional AMG wheels, with sizing up to 19 inches in diameter. Compared to competitors like these, the Audi S5 Cabriolet looks simpler and more refined, offering an air of elegance against the muscularity of the Bimmer and boldness of the Merc. Some folks will undoubtedly prefer this understated approach, but if I were to choose between the three on aesthetics alone, I'd probably opt for the Merc. In this segment, styling can mean a lot, and to my eye, the Merc does it the best. If I'm gonna spend more than $60,000 on a 2-door convertible, I wanna turn some heads, and I believe the Mercedes is most capable in that regard. Interior. Inside the new S5 Cabriolet, you'll find the usual Audi sportiness and luxury. The steering wheel uses a flat bottom and comes with a variety of buttons at thumb's length on the sides. The gauge cluster is an analog unit as standard, but digital gauges can be had for extra outlay, more on that in a second. There's also a continuous air vent strip that stretches across the dash. Mounted high and center is a tablet screen, while a splash of hard buttons and knobs are in the center console. The pedals use brushed metal, while the standard partial leather seats offer nice side bolsters for spirited driving support. It's a nice amalgamation of top-shelf materials and horizontal layout, and there are new color schemes as well. Long story short, it's a solid continuation of Audi's traditional cabin qualities. It's a nice amalgamation of top-shelf materials and horizontal layout, and there are new color schemes as well. Long story short, it's a solid continuation of Audi's traditional cabin qualities. Seating capacity is still capped at 4, with 2 in front, including passenger, and 2 in the rear. Dimensionally, the extra space outside translates into more space inside, especially when paired with the new S5's more efficient seating design. For example, shoulder room was increased by 26 mm (1.0 inches) for passengers in front, while knee room in the rear increased by 18 mm (0.7 inches). All the exact figures are still forthcoming, but you can check out the competition's numbers in the chart below. Audi saw fit to equip the new S5 Cab with upwards of 380 liters (13.4 cubic feet) of cargo space. That's substantial for this segment. And while most would consider a 2-door convertible to be the last model to offer any semblance of practicality, Audi saw fit to equip the new S5 Cab with upwards of 380 liters (13.4 cubic feet) of cargo space. That's substantial for this segment. Maximizing the available room is a compartment in the rear that repositions itself in conjunction with the soft tops opening and closing, either housing the top when it's down, or moving out of the way when it's up. Further cargo arrangements are made with a 50-50 split for the rear bench, activated via levers in the luggage compartment. Standard equipment on the S5 includes a tailgate that automatically opens using a button on the control key, or a button located on the driver's door. There's also an optional gesture control for the tailgate, with a proximity sensor located under the bumper, which means all you have to do is make a little kick towards the rear end with the key in your pocket, and it'll open up. Infotainment includes a standard Audi MMI radio, plus a 7.0-inch horizontally mounted color display in the dash. The analog dials behind the steering wheel can be replaced with Audi's virtual cockpit, which is a 12.3-inch TFT display that replaces all the needles with a digitized readout and includes various display options. There's also optional ambient lighting with up to 30 different adjustable colors, and an optional heads-up display that projects info onto the windshield in the driver's periphery. There's also voice control and free text search. If you opt into the top range trim level for the infotainment gear, you get all kinds of goodies, such as Audi Connect, MMI Navigation Plus, an MMI Touch controller, an 8.3-inch monitor with resolution at 1024 by 480 pixels which replaces the regular 7.0-incher, a DVD drive, 10 GB of flash memory, 2 card readers, an auxiliary input jack, and a USB connection with charging function. The Audi Connect services feature utilizes an LTE hotspot for the connection, with the first 3 years of service offered free of charge. The first 5 map updates for the navigation system are free as well. There's an onboard Wi-Fi hotspot for mobile connectivity if needed, with support and integration features for iOS and Android devices. Pair it up, and you'll get increased reception through the Audi phone box, plus wireless device charging using the Qi standard. Providing the tunes is a Bang & Olufsen sound system, which features 3D sound including height as an extra spatial element. The stereo pumps out 755 watts of power, with 19 speakers total to make the noise. There's also a second subwoofer to bolster the low end, which should be great for top-down, volume-up harassment of the local populace. Alternatively, keep the top up and enjoy high-end aero acoustics thanks to solid insulation, a feature that Audi says it paid particular attention to. Further standard equipment includes seatbelt microphones for both the driver and passenger. This allows you to continue to make calls and use the voice control features, even with the top down and wind blowing. Finally, it should be noted that the fully automatic soft top can operate at speeds up to 31 miles per hour, with just one touch needed to either open and close. The whole process takes 15 seconds to open, and 18 seconds to close. The competition, the look and layout of the cabin in the updated BMW 4 Series convertible didn't change a whole lot, but there are a few bits and bobs worth mentioning. New trim pieces include electroplated items and a good deal of chrome, while the central console gets a high-gloss black surround. Double stitching was used on the upholstery that covers the instrument panel, while 3 new upholstery colors and 3 new trim options are now available. New navigation and instrumentation displays were also added, while the optional navigation system Professional uses a tile-based user interface similar to a smartphone. Finally, there's an optional multifunctional instrument display. As for the rest of it, there's still an asymmetric, driver-oriented design, with the central display mounted high on the dash, and almost all the buttons and knobs tilted towards the hot seat. Wi-Fi and an abundance of USB ports complete it. While both the Audi and Bimmer are nice, the Merc once again stands out from the competition. The look and layout is much more sleek and glossy, offering a control scheme that seems more integrated and streamlined. The hard buttons and switches that are in place get a metallic, heavy feel, and we like that. Aluminum trim comes standard, while a sporty, flat-bottom steering wheel is optional. Several different types of wood trim are also optional, while a top-stitch leatherette dash and brushed aluminum sport pedals are both standard. A heated seat function, driver seat memory, and dual-zone climate control are all standard, while a multicolor LED ambient lighting system and AMG performance front seats are both optional. I still prefer the Merc when it comes to luxury digs. Like I said, the Audi and Bimmer are definitely nice, offering a good amount of tech and opulence in their own right, but it's hard to deny the sheer lavishness and refinement that you get with the Mercedes product. Fit and finish is a term that comes readily to mind. Just make sure you've got the cash needed to take a pen to that options list. Drivetrain, under the hood, you'll find an upgraded powerplant making more peak output than it did before. The S5 is equipped with a turbocharged 3.0-liter 2,995cc TFSI V6, which produces 354 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That's approximately 21 horsepower more than the preceding model, and the same horsepower figure as the old 4.2-liter V8 S5 coupe. It's also 44 pound-feet more than the outgoing model. Properly motivated, the S5 convertible can hit 60 miles per hour in 5.1 seconds, going on to a top speed electronically limited to 155 miles per hour, sending that power to the ground as a standard Quattro AWD system, complete with a torsion center differential. A standard 8-speed Tiptronic transmission handles the gear changes. Properly motivated, the S5 convertible can hit 60 miles per hour in 5.1 seconds, going on to a top speed electronically limited to 155 miles per hour. The competition, BMW offers two power levels when it comes to the 4 Series convertible, the 430i, which is powered by a turbocharged 2.0-liter 4-banger making 248 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, or the 440i, which is powered by a turbocharged 3.0-liter inline 6-cylinder making 320 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. Since we're comparing this to the hot-to-trot S5 rather than the A5, we'll go with the 440i for this one. BMW offers the 440i convertible with either RWD, or equipped with its xDrive AWD system. Both configurations yield the same acceleration figures, hitting 60 miles per hour in 5.1 seconds, matching the S5 in that respect. Top speed is also equal, tapping out at an electronically limited 155 miles per hour. The only gearbox on offer is an 8-speed Steptronic. Next we've got the Merc, which gets just one engine option, a turbocharged 2.0-liter inline 4-cylinder. You can get it with either RWD as standard, or upgrade to the 4MODIC model for extra AWD grip. Either way, you're gonna be looking at the same performance specs, with 60 miles per hour arriving in 6.3 seconds, and top speed peaking at 130 miles per hour. Both models also come with a 9G-tronic 9-speed automatic transmission as the only gearbox option. You can get more speed if you want, but it'll mean stepping into something with an AMG badge, specifically the AMG C43. This thing packs 2 more cylinders and a lot more muscle, boasting a biturbo 3.0-liter V6 pumping out 362 horsepower. Torque looks like 384 pound-feet. Routed through a 9G-tronic automatic transmission, the only gearbox choice, and a 4MODIC AWD system, RWD not available, it's enough to propel the two-door to 60 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds. Top speed is limited at 155 miles per hour. While the AMG Merc may be the quicker option on paper, I'd still opt for the BMW when it comes to the drivetrain and power unit. Not only does it offer the option for RWD if you prefer it, but it's also got an inline 6-cylinder, and that, my friends, is just too sweet to pass up. Chassis and handling. The new Audi S5 uses a 5-link suspension setup at all 4 corners. The preceding S5 Cab also used a 5-link in front, but this time around, Audi changed up the tuning a little bit. The rear 5-link suspension replaces the old model's trapezoidal link, which should help to refine the ride. Body stiffness is critical in a sporty convertible, but thankfully, under the skin is a lighter, stiffer body. For comparison, the BMW 4 Series convertible also uses a 5-link rear suspension. Standard equipment includes Audi's Drive Select dynamic handling system, which allows drivers to choose between a variety of different handling settings, such as those tailored to either sportiness, or more comfort, as the situation dictates. If you need more handling chops, Audi is offering up adaptive dampers as an available option. Audi gave the S5's electro-mechanical steering system an update as well, offering more precision than it did before. The options list includes dynamic steering, which will vary the ratio depending on the road speed and steering angle to maximize feeling. Body stiffness is critical in a sporty convertible, as the lack of a roof will often render the handling vague, woolly, and generally unpleasant. Less stiffness also translates into a poorer ride as well. Thankfully, under the skin is a lighter, stiffer body, which is apparently upwards of 40% stiffer compared to the outgoing model. Torsional rigidity is important, but in order to regain that stiffness, most convertibles show a marked increase in curb weight compared to their coupe equivalent. Such is the case with the S5, but at least Audi managed to lop off 88 pounds with the generational changeover. Audi says it used additional struts and reinforced side sills to replace the lost rigidity when the S5 went topless. The competition. Note: BMW 4 Series convertible pictured on the left, Mercedes-Benz C-Class Cabriolet AMG C43 pictured on the right. While BMW just revised the suspension for the 4 Series Coupe and Grand Coupe, the convertible model continues on with the same old setup. But that's not really a big deal, given the lightweight construction used under the skin. The 4 Series convertible is equipped with a double pivot front suspension, and a 5-link setup in the rear with cast aluminum components. There's Servotronic power steering, and multiple driving modes: Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, etc. Making the stick or run flat all-season tires, sized at 225/45 R18. The Mercedes arrives with a much more aggressive demeanor. Given its time under the watchful eye of AMG, it should come as no surprise this thing arrives ready to rumble. Underneath is the same basic setup as the hard-top C-Class, with 4-wheel independent suspension, aluminum-hewn 4-link in front, plus a 5-arm multilink in back, plus AMG-tuned AWD grip sending 69% of the torque to the rear axle. You also get standard AMG Sport suspension, which takes advantage of the wider track, plus there's standard torque vectoring brakes, while staggered all-season tires are on the rollers, sized at 225/45 R18 in front and 245/40 R18 in back. While the Mercedes and Audi are both certainly impressive, I've gotta defer to the Bimmer when it comes to having fun in the corners, the reason being the available RWD. There's just something just so intrinsically right about mounting the engine up front and sending power to the rear, and unfortunately, neither the Audi nor the Mercedes have that option. Safety and convenience: the new S5 includes a wide variety of driver's assist systems, up to 30 to be exact, each designed to enhance safety, comfort and efficiency. It's all stepping stones on the way towards a future Audi classifies as piloted driving, that is fully autonomous diving systems. Part of the equipment is adaptive cruise control, which comes with a stop-and-go function and traffic jam assist. This system can follow the car ahead, and even apply the throttle and brakes in a traffic jam at speeds up to 65 km per hour, 40.4 miles per hour. On better roads, it can offer assistance with the steering as well. There's also predictive efficiency, which will use the navigation info to give the driver specific driving advice, a feature that Audi says is unique to the segment. Then there's collision avoidance assist, which uses a front camera, ACC, and radar sensors to detect potential obstacles and collisions. If a potential collision is detected, the system will compute a recommended driving line within a fraction of a second. Other basic features include turn assist, park assist, rear cross traffic alert, exit warning, camera-based traffic sign recognition, and lane assist. Passive systems include head-thorax side airbags, as well as aluminum profiles that will automatically extend in the event of a rollover. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration (NHTSA) and Insurance Institute for Highway Safety (IIHS) have yet to release safety info for any model year of the S5 Cabriolet. The competition: if you're looking to make a BMW 4 Series convertible as safe as possible, there are a few packages you should look into. First up is the driver assistance package, which includes park distance control and a rear view camera to make reversing and parking easier thanks to guidelines projected onto the display screen. Get it by adding $950 to the bottom line. Then there's the Driver Assistance Plus pack, which throws in goodies like active driving assistant, active blind spot detection, side and top view cameras, and speed limit info, all of which help you keep tabs on potential hazards, be they other vehicles or pedestrians. Pricing on this one is $1,700. Finally, there's the lighting package, which throws in adaptive LED headlights and automatic high beams for $1,900. Both the NHTSA and IIHS have yet to post crash ratings for the 4 Series convertible. In the Mercedes camp, the C-Class gets tons of standard safety goodies. There's Collision Prevention Assist Plus, which will assist in braking and even apply the binders autonomously when detecting a potential frontal collision. There's also Crosswind Assist, which will counteract the effect of lateral gusts, such as from a passing truck. Blind Spot Assist and a rearview camera are also standard, while options include cross-traffic assist, automatic braking with pedestrian recognition (ABS), and a surround view system are extra. Like the Bimmer and Audi, both the NHTSA and IIHS have yet to give the C-Class Cabriolet AMG C43 a crashworthiness rating. At the end of the day, I'm partial to the wide variety of safety and convenience features offered by Audi. The Merc is also a strong contender in this area, but the Audi seems to have a greater diversity of systems, while also leading with more advanced systems as well. Prices: the new Audi S5 Cabriolet will hit German and European dealers next March, starting at €67,800, $74,876 at current exchange rates. In the US, pricing will probably be a little lower, starting at $64,000, give or take a few grand. That price will reflect a modest rise in MSRP. The previous generation started at $61,000. The competition: the BMW 4 Series convertible starts at $50,300 for the base model 430i with RWD. However, if you're gonna step up to the S5, you're gonna want the more powerful 440i and its 6-cylinder goodness. That starts at $57,300, while X-Drive AWD adds an extra $2,000 for $59,300. Meanwhile, the Mercedes C-Class Cabriolet starts at $50,900 for the base model C300 with RWD, while the AWD-equipped C300 Modic starts at $52,900. But you're gonna need speed to hang with the S5, which means you'll instead want the AMG C43, starting at $60,400. Other options: truth be told, there isn't a whole lot out there if you're looking for a quick two-door compact drop-top loaded with luxury. Basically, in this segment, you're stuck with something from Germany, as outlined throughout this review. That said, if you're willing to be a little flexible, there are a few sporty convertibles out there that might tickle your fancy. The luxury, refinement, and brand appeal might not be up to par, but the performance certainly is. Ford Mustang Convertible. The Blue Oval just revealed its new 2018 pony car, and with the coupe arrives the convertible. Updates include freshened engine options, such as a 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-banger, but we think the 5.0-liter V8 is more appropriate. Routing the power to the rear is a new 10-speed automatic transmission. The styling is new as well, while the suspension gains fancy Magneride components that complement the car's recent changeover to an independent setup in the rear. To keep it comfortable, look for options like leather upholstery, adaptive cruise control, voice-activated navigation, and upgraded infotainment. Pricing starts at $30,685. Read the full review here. Chevrolet Camaro Convertible. Chevy introduced the new 6th-gen Camaro last year, matching Ford blow for blow in the battle for muscle car supremacy. As such, the convertible arrives with 3 engine options: a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder with 275 horsepower, a 3.6-liter V6 with 335 horsepower, or a 6.2-liter with 455 horsepower. Both a 6-speed manual and an 8-speed automatic are on the table for transmission options. Outside, the Camaro looks bold and mean, while the cabin can be optioned with goodies like premium carpeting, a Bose sound system, and a remote vehicle starter. Standard features include electronic cruise control, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, a 7.0-inch touchscreen, and a rear-facing camera. Pricing starts at $31,905. Read the full review here. Conclusion: the S5 does an excellent job of mixing luxury, clean styling, and performance into a single package, and this generational update for the 2017 model year seems to enhance each of those characteristics. In particular, I'd love to see a performance test that pits this thing against its nearest competitors, because something tells me it would do quite well. The only issue I see happens to be quite glaring: the pricing. Sure, it's quick, but performance enthusiasts don't necessarily gravitate towards convertible models, and while more power is almost always a good thing, I wouldn't be surprised if BMW and Mercedes end up attracting more customers. Love it: more power, less weight, updated suspension, nice tech. Leave it: understated styling for the performance level might be too expensive for the segment.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.